Hey everybody, welcome to Lesson 2 of our Elite Dangerous Flight Operations. We are in the standard Sidewinder at Bosch Terminal, and in this lesson we're going to be taking a look at some interstellar travel using both the navigation panel and the galactic map. I am going to assume that you know how to depart and dock at a station because you've either done it yourself or you've watched episode 1, or I should say lesson number 1. And you can see here by the camera setup that I have that rather than showing my face, I'm actually showing my current control setup. I have everything, my joystick, throttle, some buttons up here for various controls such as landing gear and cargo hatch. I have my mouse available. Right click is bound to mouse look, and my keyboard has everything handily placed and things like that. QWER, QWE, and ASD and space are what I use to navigate menus. So, if we're looking at interstellar travel, there are two ways to get yourself into hyperspace. The first one is to go directly to hyperspace. But to go directly to hyperspace, you need to have some space to hyperspace too. So we'll take a look at the navigation menu. I use the WASD keys to navigate the navigation menu. These symbols indicate various stars, planets, outposts, and starports that are in the local system, and asteroid belts and things like that. Basically all the points of interest that are here in LHS 1914. If you keep on scrolling down, you will start seeing other star systems that are within range. So we can go to STKM 1-626 as a candidate for local area. Now we're docked right now, so I can't engage hyperdrive, but I can target the system and log my destination. When I take a look back here, I see on my compass, that's this little circle just to the left of the scanner, that the star system is behind me and on my right. So I'm going to ask for permission to launch, and we're going to hyperspace over there. As soon as we get our ship turnaround procedure complete, we'll come up in our outpost here, Bosch Terminal. And we're released. Go ahead and retract my landing gear. I'm going to head up, make sure I'm clear above. Okay. So, based on our compass, we're going to head this direction. And we see that STKM 1-626 is 4.57 light years away. If we were to hit supercruise and go there, it would take a really long time. Well, luckily, the frameshift drive has a high energy setting, which we will use. I have a single key bound to engage the frameshift drive for both hyperspace and supercruise purposes. We're no longer mass locked, so we will go ahead and engage the countdown to hyperspace. The frameshift drive takes considerably longer to get into hyperspace, and this will become important later on when you're trying to figure out how to get away from bad guys. It's much quicker to get into supercruise than it is to get into hyperspace. Okay, we're in a hyperspace tunnel now. After a few seconds of traveling through this hyperspace tunnel, we will pop out nearest the largest gravitational source. I think it's the largest star in the STKM system. Here we go. Very first thing you got to do is pull away from the star. Hyperspace can only lock onto the most massive object in any particular system. So now that we're here, let's take a look at navigation and see what we have. We have the main star, the nav beacon, some asteroids, some planets, various stations and outposts, more planets. Another star, STKM 1-626b, and stations and asteroid belts around that one. So this is a binary star system. And once again, we can see the other destinations that we can actually reach now from here. So if you noticed, when we popped out of hyperspace, we ended up directly in supercruise. So if we wanted to go somewhere interesting within the station, like Fleming City, lock our destination and use our compass to fly on down. I like to begin slowing down to the middle of the blue zone when my speed is about 10% of my distance. So in this case, I started slowing down at 150C when we were 150, or 15C I should say, when we were 150 light seconds away. So now we're just super cruising into Fleming City, just like super cruising in Lesson 1. I am actually going to skip docking, since we've done it in Lesson 1 before, and we'll go directly into hyperspacing someplace else. So we'll pull out of this dive into Fleming City. If we want to hyperspace directly someplace else, all we need to do is choose our destination. In fact, we can go to Engage Hyperdrive. The frameshift drive will begin charging, and we have some time to maneuver to get ourselves lined up. Notice that the hyperspace drive will not engage until you're actually lined up with your destination. And we're back in a hyperspace tunnel to LHS 1914, which is where we just came from. Once again, we're just going to pitch away from this star so we don't crash into it. If we wanted to, we could slow right down and pull ourselves out of frameshift. And we are now in empty space near the star. LHS 1914. 1914A. And once again, heading back to our station allows us to, we can use this to head back to whatever station we wanted to go to. But I'm actually going to take a look at using the galaxy map now, so we can learn how to use that to plot courses and go further distances. So here we are in the galaxy map. I'm using the mouse wheel to zoom in and out, and the right mouse wheel scrolls around the viewpoint, or the left mouse button allows me to scroll my viewpoint. The right mouse button moves the map up and down. So we're in LHS 1914. If we wanted to go somewhere a little further, we could click on it, select our destination, and it gives us a course through BD plus 30, 1423 into this thin system. You can go to navigation and click on fastest routes, and this basically tells you the least number of jumps to get places. But doing so is considerably less fuel efficient. The shorter your jumps, the much more efficient your fuel system makes use of those. So we're going to go ahead and click on navigation, set our destination to thin, and turn on our economical routes again. And our economical route is to go to BD plus 30, 1423, and then to thin. So now that we have that in our heads, we are going to go to navigation. We could jump directly to thin, but for the sake of the lesson, we will go to BD plus 30. Once again, facing the vector that we have set up here before we get set up. And you need to be at full throttle. So if I'm at I was at not quite full throttle when the countdown started, it would have waited for me to be at full throttle before it would kick off the countdown. Okay, we're in thin. We're going to go ahead and duck away from this star. Or, I'm sorry, we're in BD plus 30. Now we'll set course for thin. Follow the compass to our destination. And head this direction. Apparently the frameshift drive was still on cooldown, but now that it's cooled down, we can actually head out there. Alright, we are once again in Super Cruise, now in the thin system. If you're taking a look at our fuel gauge on the right hand side, you will see that we've used up about half of each of our fuel tanks. The small line just below the word fuel is your Super Cruise tank, and we're spending about half a ton per hour. And the line with the brakes in it is our hyperspace tank. So we've used up about half of that. We should probably go get ourselves some more fuel at Euler Station. So we will head into Euler Orbital and see about fueling back up. I hope we have enough money. When my speed is 10% of my distance, I'm backing off the throttle so I don't overshoot my destination. Okay, once again, we're going to have to learn how to deal with interdictions. So, that's a graphical glitch, if I've ever seen one. Interdictions are a matter of pointing at this blue vector as much as you can. As long as you're pointing at that blue vector, if you're doing a better job of pointing at this blue vector than they are of pointing at their blue vector, because they have a similar thing when trying to interdict you, you will eventually escape interdiction. If you are new and you're just barely starting out, it's really important to skip being interdicted. These Sidewinders, unless you're an expert combat pilot, are just under-equipped to deal with any sort of pirate resistance. So what happens when you successfully escape an interdiction is that their frameshift drive, whoever's trying to pull you over, their frameshift drive fails and they fall out of Super Cruise. If they successfully interdict you, then you both fall out of Super Cruise at the same location. And it's just as likely to be a pirate as anything else, so be careful of that. Okay, we are 0.1 light seconds away from Euler Orbital, 20 million meters, and closing pretty quickly here. Okay, within 1 million meters and slow enough, we'll safely disengage. This, I believe, is an Orbis Starport. Yes, it is. Orbis Starports are more luxurious than the Coriolis. Coriolis Starports only have 1/10 of a G at their outer ring. But Coriolis Starports, actually, this one only has a couple of small rings. And those small rings are actually running at 1/2 of a standard Earth gravity. So life in there is actually pretty comfortable. But you can see the docking port is off on this side. We'll go ahead and get ourselves permission to dock. And once again, we have to fly in through the toaster rack, as it's called, to dock on the internal docking ports of the station. So the station rotates around to impart artificial gravity to those on the outer hull. You can see those larger rings. Like I said, that's 1/5 artificial gravity at the speed of rotation the station's currently going at. Okay, we're lined up. More or less. I'm going to use my W, A, S, and D keys to get myself lined up with the station. And we'll just follow this asp in. We're being scanned. Once again, a little bit of left pressure on the joystick to make sure that we are matching rotation. Oh, these ships are getting all blocked up. They don't know what they're doing. We'll just fly to one side of this guy here. Okay, proceed to pad 34, which we're passing right now. So I'm going to get out of the center of the station, flip it over, and get ourselves positioned over it. So I'm using the compass to help me find my pad. It's a little bit behind us now. When that dot in the compass is hollow, that means that whatever you're looking at, whatever you're looking for is behind you. When it's solid, that means whatever is in front of you. Okay, we're here. It's time to fuel up. Hopefully, like I said, hopefully I have enough money. Refuel, 58 bucks. I only have 42 credits left, so it's probably time to start finding some work and stuff like that. But that's that'll be all talking about. We'll be talking about those during our Let's Plays. I'm going to be focusing this on tutorials. So until lesson 3, I'm going to say keep flying and stay shiny. Bye.